وَمَا أَصَابَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْتَقَى الْجَمْعَانِ. And whatever struck you on the day the two armies met was by the permission of Allah, and that He might make evident the true believers. The true believers. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا. And that He might make evident those who are hypocrites. Allah tests His believers. Why? To get rid of hypocrisy. For it was said to them, come, fight in the way of Allah, or at least defend. They said, if we had known how to fight, we would have followed you. They were nearer to disbelief that day than to faith, saying with their mouths that which was not in their hearts. And Allah is most knowing of what they conceal. Those who said about their brothers while sitting at home, if they had obeyed us, they would not have been killed. They're unhappy. Why? Because some Muslims went out in the way of Allah. Say, then prevent death from yourselves if you should be truthful. Okay, you want to sit at home? Then try to avoid death. Can you avoid death? No. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا. And never think of those who have been killed in the way of Allah as dead. Rather, they are alive with their Lord, receiving provision, rejoicing in what Allah has bestowed upon them of His bounty. And they receive good tidings about those after them, who have not yet joined them. Meaning those who have gone to Allah now, they are happy, looking forward to those who will be martyred and join them. That there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Such a great rank. For who? For the one who gave his beloved life to who? To Allah. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. They receive good tidings of favor from Allah and bounty, and of the fact that Allah does not allow the reward of believers to be lost. Remember, أَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. The reward of the believers is not lost at all. So anything you suffer in the way of Allah, it's being recorded as reward. Those believers who responded to Allah and the Messenger after injury had struck them, for those who did good among them and feared Allah, is a great reward. This is about the injured, the wounded Muslims who had barely returned from Uhud, that they had to pursue the enemy again. Imagine the Sahaba had just buried 70 of their companions. The rest of them were wounded. They were emotionally hurt, physically wounded. And what happened? They were told, go and pursue the enemy. Go all the way to Hamra'ul Asad. So the Muslims went all the way there, in that injured, wounded state. But what happened? The enemy got scared. That wow, these Muslims have come now? How many more must they be? So they left. And there was no battle. But it was just a test. Allah was testing the believers. Do you even get up again after this loss? الَّذِينَ قَالَ لَهُمُ النَّاسِ. Those to whom the people said, indeed, some people have gathered against you, so fear them. But it merely increased them in faith. And they said, sufficient for us is Allah. حَسْبُنَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلِ. Enough for us is Allah, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Ibrahim a.s. said this when he was thrown into the fire. And we see the believers also said this when they had to go to fight the enemy again after Uhud. The Prophet ﷺ, he said this, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. So who should also say this? We should also say this. Anytime you find yourself worrying, how am I going to fast today? How am I going to read Quran today? How am I going to go to class today? Anytime you have this worry and fear, how am I going to do it? You don't know how. The time is gone. You don't know how. Just say, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. We rely on Allah, not on ourselves.